I have now for you some clips of Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley at a recent Vision 24 National Conservative Forum, something or another, that was going on. Some conservative speakers were at it, and she was one of them. And the first one I'll show you will definitely cause you to cringe a little bit. Here's this.
Dual personality? I mean, help us with this.
No, when you're born in South Carolina, you learn how to kick with a smile, right? So, I mean, it's Look, I am a fierce fighter when it comes to my family, when it comes to my country, when it comes to the things that I love and believe in. But I can pretty much tear you apart without you realizing I just did it, and I can smile the whole time doing it. You know,
Dual person.
Okay. By the way, this part.
You're born in South Carolina, you learn how to kick with a smile.
What is Nikki Haley's deal with kicking? And yes, I'm gonna play this compilation again. Stop bringing up kicking. You're a politician.
I'm not kicking sideways. I'm not going to kick sideways. I don't kick sideways. I don't kick sideways. Take the kick me sign off of our backs. I'm kicking forward. I'm kicking forward. I'm kicking forward. I kick forward. Whenever I'm kicked, I always kick back.
They all think we can be kicked around, and when you kick back, it hurts them more if you're wearing heels. I'm Nikki Haley, and I'm running for president.
So, and all those clips, by the way, were within like 2 days. So, a kicking machine, that Nikki Haley. And again, if you don't have actual policies to push, then just talk about vaguely how much of a fighter you are and how effective of a kicker you are, instead of actually talking about specifically the policies you would push for. Speaking of, to get to some more clips, here's some of her talking about the way the left is going after the kids and all those things we hear.
The problem is these school bureaucrats have decided parents can't do their job. So they now suddenly think they have to go and infiltrate everything that they think should be taught to our kids. We are still the parents. We have to fight for our kids. We have one job, and that's to make sure that we raise our children to be strong, faithful, responsible kids. And if we don't stop all this woke ideology that's happening in our schools, we will lose them. And we can't afford for that to happen.
I do think that's the big fear here. It's not about this wokeness monster they've created, mythical creature. It's about the fear that if they learn an honest telling of history, an honest telling of the modern situation we're in now, the honest reality of different identities existing in this world, they may understand that the modern Republican Party is bonkers, is detached from reality, or the driving force of it. There's still reasonable Republicans kind of who are annoyed with the driving force, which is this MAGA ideology, and will want to address the issues that they learned about. It's not CRT teaching you to hate yourself. And by the way, as we mentioned, CRT is a higher education thing anyways, not even in elementary schools. But what they're going after in large part is just good, honest discussions about our history. Not so that you hate yourself. No. Everyone's valuable as an individual. It's so that you know truth. You know what's going on in the country, what has gone on, what is going on now. And I think they fear that people will be motivated by that to want to solve some of these issues, and that will place them not on the same political side as Nikki Haley. And then continuing forward with the kid fear-mongering.
What would you have to say about the wokeism that's infiltrating the school systems?
90% of our American kids are now under critical race theory. And what that means is if a little girl goes into
What is that? Critical race theory is a course that kids couldn't possibly understand. It is for higher education settings. What are you talking about? 90%? Where'd you get the figure 90% from? You pulled that out of somewhere.
kindergarten, If she's white, you're telling her she's bad. If she's brown or black, you're telling her she's never going to be good enough and she's always going to be a
Who is saying that?
victim. I mean, that's wrong. The idea that we are dividing our children based on race, based on religion, based on all of these things, that's not what was supposed to happen. We talked about the...
What would you have to...
It's so pointless. Isn't it fascinating? There's an entire movement that is reacting to something that in large part doesn't exist. That's wild. And then more kids stuff.
Our kids need to be saying the Pledge of Allegiance when they start their day so that they know to love America.
It's an obsession with things that impact very little people. How do people not see that? Care about things that impact you and your life and your material well-being. Don't be tricked into thinking all these things are problems that aren't actually problems. And then I say, now that we've gotten to the end of all of her younger generation related stuff, if you actually cared about the well-being of children, you would care about addressing the leading cause of death for children in the United States, which is gun violence. And common sense gun reform is one of the major ways we do that. Also mental health, also investing in communities, but gun control is a major way. And it's individuals like Nikki Haley who use this distorted view of what the Second Amendment means to stand against that. So I don't believe a word she says on protecting the kids. Then we get to this.
We can have that again. Don't let anybody tell you we can't have that again. But in order to have that again, we've got to stop this national self-loathing of people saying America's bad or it's rotten or the fact that it's racist. I was elected, you elected me, the first female minority governor in history. America's not racist, we're blessed.
Okay, that whole conversation, is America a racist country, is so pointless. It's so pointless. There's racist individual. I don't care if the entity of a country or if the country, that doesn't even mean anything. There's racist individuals. Those should be pushed back against. There's systems that disproportionately impact people negatively along racial lines. That needs to be addressed. You're saying words that mean nothing. Is a country racist? What? Why? There are racist individuals. Do we recognize that? Okay. We should try to make sure people are not racist. There are systems that hurt people along racial lines. Let's address that. That's the conversation. Oh, my goodness. Okay, then to give you a sense of the word I keep coming back to is pointless, just patronizing. This whole event was. This is Marsha Blackburn at the same event.
Woke is their favorite word. Wokeism.
Woke is your favorite word, Marsha Blackburn.
Woke is their favorite word. Wokeism is their favorite activity.
What? Who wants to go wokeism with me?
And they adhere to DEI and ESG like it's a religion. It is that important to them. Woke.
Just an absolutely pumped crowd there. And then you have, let's see here, Tim Scott.
And then you would target education if you wanted to ruin America. You would, during the
He's talking about if you wanted to ruin America, this is what you do.
pandemic, lock kids out of the classroom. And after the pandemic, you would lock poor kids into failing schools if you wanted to ruin America. You would, instead of teaching the ABCs, you would teach C. I knew y'all were smart. I just knew y'all were smart. I could look in the front row and say, wow, this is a smart group. And I look in the back and say, oh my gosh, they're smart back there too.
A message to supporters of these individuals. They don't respect you if this is how they speak to you. If they think they can trick you and convince you they're working for you when all they're doing is talking about a mythical problem of wokeism, if they think they can spend all of their time on the campaign trail in positions of power, addressing things that largely don't exist while they actually hand more power to the powerful, hand more wealth to the wealthy, they don't respect you. They talk to you. I don't get it. They talk to their supporters in such a patronizing manner. Snap out of it. This is a distraction. The whole wokeism thing. Are there annoying people on social media? Yes. In the current environment we're in, sorry about that, if y'all heard a notification. In the current political environment we're in positions of power, you have one party that is flawed but does push for good actions, and another party that is almost entirely just flawed and is constantly trying to, again, make the powerful more powerful, the wealthy more wealthy, and not investing in the lives of most Americans, unless you're at the very top of the economic ladder. That's what's happening. The actions. Don't be tricked by the words so much and so many times. And that's what this whole movement is about. They're distracting you. I'm being negatively impacted too, but you're being scammed. You're being convinced that wokeism is the biggest problem that faces America. Meanwhile, they're actively trying to block actions by the Biden administration to lower your prescription drug costs or cap your insulin costs or invest in the future of our dang planet in a climate change response, or invest in infrastructure in your community, get internet out to rural areas, healthcare coverage for people, all these different actions that would benefit many of your lives. I'm talking, I know y'all, probably this doesn't apply to, in that you're not voting for Republican politicians, but it is so sad and it's such a scam, and we're seeing it all play out.